morning, everyone. It's so great to see you all here and to be in meditation together. So this will be the only time I'll be talking. After the talk of Shri Mataji, we will be just in a long silence meditation together, and maybe just turn the volume off so that when I stop the live stream, you can still keep going if you wish. But now let's together bow down and humble ourselves down with our Agnya on the earth, and then raise our Kundalini and put ourselves in bound now.
Today we have assembled here to do the Kundalini Puja. Once we had done it in India, long time back. And this is the first time we are doing this puja here in Austria. This is the puja of the Adi Kundalini. Is the primordial Kundalini. You must have seen in the hand of Athena, who is the primordial mother, there is a power which is a snake in the left hand. So a little far away if you keep it. Yes, sorry. And the primordial mother has one of her powers, which we can say as the primordial Kundalini, is a part of her. Of course, she's beyond that. But she is reflected in human beings as the Kundalini. Now one has to know that to create an incarnation, lot of work has gone into. So many things had to be envisaged. One had to have the vision that when a human being is created, how an incarnation can help. At different levels, we had incarnations on this earth, and they were sent with a particular idea that they should achieve a particular type of ascent in that particular time. They were all part and parcel of the primordial mother. And they all had a very powerful Kundalini built within them. But the incarnation of this Kali Yuga is very complicated. First, it had to be worked out what would be the situation in which this incarnation would be born. And what sort of encounters this incarnation would have. So, the major propelling force, you can say, or the major work had to be done in the incarnation to create a very strong spinal cord so that it could bear the primordial Kundalini, which is responsible for doing this great work of transformation. Now this Kundalini, which is the primordial one, has all the powers built in of redemption, of ascent. But apart from that, to be born in this Kali Yuga, one had to know what sort of people one has to face. And then how to bring them around to the understanding of Sahaja Yoga and to the understanding that they have to have their ascent. So there are many sources of energies and knowledge which are to be used, because it's a very complicated world in which the primordial Kundalini had to go. It was not a simple thing like people coming to Himalayas. They were already clean people, very desirous of getting realization. They didn't have all kinds of inhibitions and conditions and ego. They were completely surrendered, and after a great amount of penance, they would arrive. So to raise their Kundalini was not such a complicated thing. So not only that, the primordial Kundalini had to give assent to people, but she had to also understand what sort of people are there. Why don't you take out the child? What's the matter? I think open the windows, perhaps the children are feeling hot. Normally children don't cry unless there's some problems. To be careful. So all the aspects of human beings on the random movement of human beings, all their adventures and enterprises were to be understood by the incarnation. To communicate with the primordial Kundalini. I know also such a person had to be a Mahamaya, so that she or he, whatever it is, has to behave in such a manner that nobody should feel frightened or should feel something distant. So this Mahamaya Swarupa had to be taken. So the Adishakti's work is double-fold. First is to know about the present, the way the people are, their cultures, their styles, their conditionings, their egos, everything, how they behave. Though the Adishakti is unaware of all these things, because she doesn't know this is human adventure. She doesn't know how far they have gone. And what do they see? What do they dream? What are their ideas? And the another work is of the Kundalini. So she is divided into two parts. One is the Kundalini and another is the Sahasrara. So Sahasrara has to supply all the material, all the information to the Kundalini. And then the Kundalini has to work out. Of course, as you know very well, there are deities who are built in everywhere, in the Sahasrara also, the whole body. And they are the ones who communicate whatever has to be communicated properly. But it's a very complicated work, extremely complicated. So this primordial Kundalini acts for the collective, samashti, as well as for the individual. Now, supposing you go to a place like, say, an airport. So you start absorbing the heat of the people. Then the perspiration starts and you have to see that all this work is done through your body. Or at the same time, if there's somebody, individual, who has some problem, also can be absorbed and can be corrected. So it acts on both the levels, one on the individual and one on the collective, as they say, samashti and vyashti. And simultaneously is connected. Now the attention, which is the power of the brain, you can say, or power of sahasrara, also has to be extremely deep, alert, and intelligible. All this work had to be done to create this incarnation of primordial Kundalini and a Sahasrara. So many mechanisms were used, so many types of wiring was done as you do it. Like as you try to fix your computer to make it the most efficient one. In the same way, a lot of work was to be put in. And first, you had to watch human beings for 2000 years. How they have been behaving, what they have been doing, and now what sort of human beings are there. Every nation had different conditionings. Every individual had different conditioning. It's a very difficult work. And one had to have really the ocean of patience, inexhaustible ocean of patience. And that's how this work of Sahaja, the whole stage was set in. As you have put the stage here, you have done a marvelous work. And looks very nice, beautiful, everything is there. But the stage for Sahaja was very complicated, extremely complicated. Because the work was so dynamic, so subtle, at the same time, so loving, so affectionate. All the intelligence of the divine was used to manufacture this incarnation. And to get a human realization was also very difficult. You had to be born like an ordinary human being, to live in your family like an ordinary person. You had to find out, through entering into everybody's Kundalini, what was wrong with them, what was the mistake, how you could use the permutations and combinations of their chakras to give them amas realization. It was a tremendous task. And that had to be done with the Sahasrara. but it has been achieved. All these great plans of the divine and everybody's detailed working and bringing everything to a par excellence level was really tremendous. I myself surprised at myself and amazed how I could really get so many people in Sahaja. I didn't expect, but it has worked tremendously because of the cooperation of human beings also. Otherwise, it would not have been possible. Now, when you do these pujas and all those things, you please those deities, make them happy, because they have done so much work. Is your gratitude for them that they have worked so hard with such diligence, with such precision, that today we have been able to achieve this great drama of Sahaja. Those who are Sahajogis perhaps do not realize what is the great work done in the background and how much time it took to build up the whole thing, to bring it to this level of perfection. So the primordial Kundalini, which is reflected in you as your Kundalini, also is of the same nature. And it works in the same way. It rises, gives you self-realization, gives you the powers. But after all, one has to know it is a reflection. And a reflection, to make it truthful, real, you have to look at the reality first. How the real one, the real Kundalini, the real primordial one, how it acts, how it works.